Hello and welcome to This Week in Japan. I'm the Gaijin John,
I'm the Geek Tom.
and together we are Geeks and Gaijins, and we bring you the world, well, a week in Japan in about 45 minutes or less, depending on how happy I get with the editing.
We're trying our best, John. We've cut it down nice and tight. You know what? Sometimes we just like to talk.
I'm just thinking now you have a series of countries and about half an hour podcasts. So by the time you're finished in one week, you'll then know what happened in every other country the next week and the next week. You could actually do that because, there's 200 countries in the world? So you could listen to 48 a day with no sleep. So that's 4 days worth of listening to half an hour's about countries. And then you sleep for 3 days, and then you're back.
But, well, you need like 3 days to do all the recording, but that's fair enough. That'll be our next expanding of this operation. Wait next for This Week in Chad.
This week in Vatican City, Pope is still the Pope. Does he in the woods? We will find out.
Sorry, when did I have to worry about the Pope's toilet habits, John? How about we move on to something important?
Once again, my bag of podcast stuff has nothing important in it. It's literally labeled nothing important.
So what's at the top of the pile instead?
Top of the pile is me complaining about PlayStations. Well, I'm actually not complaining. I'm complaining for all UK people who don't live in Japan. Because,
Yes. You get to pay that sweet, sweet yen money.
Yeah. No, seriously, it's ridiculous. But yeah, we'll do a short bit on that. Then all your isekais have come true if you're a Japanese teenager and the isekai is in English.
Truly, the proper fantasy world is England. No. That'd be a depressing isekai.
According to my presentations, it apparently is.
Hey.
Then we have the always usual snack break, in which I try something Halloween flavoured, which was very difficult to find.
Halloween in September. It's more likely than you think.
And then finally, I've gone and been the touristy tourist that I can, having actually living in Japan. And I went so far. I went to the neighbouring prefecture and went to Izumo Shrine, or Izumo Taisho, one of the biggest shrines in all of Japan. So I thought I'd give you a tourism rundown. Yeah.
Nice.
Because you can't come to Japan right now, and I can't leave. So might as well make the best use of my time for when you come here and I'm allowed to leave.
He'll just wave to you on the way out. Please, thank you. Tag in.
Enjoy! Let's literally hand out the plane. Like, come on, guys. Come on, we can do it. Get closer. It's fine.
Now you're giving the Japanese pilots ideas again, John. You know what happened last time we did that.
Thomas, don't mention the war.
The Japanese one.
Okay, so first of all, PlayStations. How can I play and what station is it? And apparently we have a fifth one now.
So many stations. How do I choose the right one?
You choose the one with the biggest number.
That sounds about right, actually, yes.
Though there is a problem now because you can get one with a disk drive and a one without a disk drive.
And the one without the disc drive, the digital edition, is cheaper, isn't it? What's the price differences between the two?
This is the thing I'm going to be going on about. So in North America, the basic PS5 will be $499 and $399 for the digital edition, which just sounds like you just get sent a JPEG of it. I'm sorry.
Well, with the current pre-ordering system in place, you probably will have to settle for just a JPEG of your PS5.
Oh yeah, that's messed up, and we're not going into that because people who are far more eloquent than us have done it, and it's still confusing then. Basically, PS5, hard to buy.
Oh dear, who could have foreseen this?
So essentially, with the digital one, you have to buy stuff off the store, off the digital store, and apparently they've also just announced an extra thing for PlayStation Plus for people who are going onto the 5, essentially a bunch of ported games that you just get if you have PlayStation Plus. So it's basically to encourage people to get the PlayStation 5 as soon as possible, because there's actually not that much new coming out directly at launch. I think it's Spider-Man Miles Morales Demon Souls, and Devil May Cry remastered, retooled, rejigged edition.
I mean, it's a fairly smart way of getting your starting catalog open for your system. Is just bring a bunch of the most popular games from the last generation over to your new console, just to give people something to do whilst they wait for the actual releases to come out.
Well, exactly, because this is called the PlayStation Plus Collection, and you get it if you have PlayStation Plus, or you'll gain access to it if you buy PlayStation Plus. The current games for that are God of War, The Last of Us Remastered, Uncharted 4, Battlefield 1, Monster Hunter World, Fallout 4, Final Fantasy 15, The Last Guardian, Ratchet and Clank, Infamous Second Son, Days Gone, Bloodborne, Detroit Become Human, Batman Arkham Knight, Mortal Kombat X, Persona 5, Until Dawn, Resident Evil, Biohazard. Good games. And Battlefield. That was not the reason I wanted to talk to you, Thomas.
Sorry, I led you astray on that one. Go back
Yeah.
to the main topic at hand, please, John.
The main topic at hand being the PS5 is $499. But in Japan, it is about 50,000 yen. I'm going to round up for God's sakes, because no one cares that it's 99 whatever cents. And in the UK, it is £450. And in Europe, it is €499. So I thought I would try. Obviously, you can do the base amount in dollars. And I thought, everyone's doing that. And then you compare stuff by dollar prices. It's dumb. So I thought I'd do the basis of all capitalism, which is the Big Mac. So how many Big Macs can I buy for a PlayStation 5 in selected country?
This is not where I thought you were going to take me, I'll be honest.
No.
But please, carry on. I want to see where this goes now.
So I did do all the maths myself, so there will be stuff that's wrong here. And if this is based... Originally, there's an idea called the Big Mac Index that you measure somewhere's economy by how fast the average worker earns a Big Mac. So here we have basically the prices of the Big Macs in all the different countries. In the USA, it's $3.99. In the UK, it's £3.10. In Japan, it's 390 yen. And I just did the Netherlands. It's all slightly different all over the Eurozone. It's €3.85. For the one with a disc, because I want my pre-owned games and a Blu-ray player. In the USA, theirs is the least amount of Macs, with 125 Big Macs to the PlayStation. Following up at second place is Japan, which is kind of obvious because it's a Japanese console, with 128 Big Macs to the PlayStation. Slightly up a bit more is then Europe, or the Netherlands, at 130 Big Macs per PlayStation. And then finally, the UK, with a staggering 145 Big Macs per PlayStation. That is a whole 20 more Big Macs you have to pay. In real money, that's about $60, $70. But Big Macs.
God's sake. Once again, the pound gets shafted.
Yeah. I'm sorry, this is a very UK-focused annoyance, but goddamn has it, attacked me all my life. Which is also the reason I'm buying a PlayStation 5 while I'm here. Currently, the conversion rate of £450 is 60,000 yen. 10,000 yen more than the PlayStation 5 release in Japan.
Why? Why did they do this to us?
I tried to search. No answers were given. Basically, and this is not a Brexit thing, by the way. I mean, it probably is, but it's not.
No, they've always done this.
They've always done this. It's the same with the PlayStation 4, and I'm pretty sure the PlayStation 3 as well. I just wanted to highlight this to our international viewers that games in the UK now are going to be £70. That's the equivalent of $90 for a video game.
That is ridiculous. I mean, they're bumping up the price in the US from 60 to 70 on some games, which is absolutely ridiculous. But the fact that we're paying 90 over here is, oh my God. It's just not fair.
It just seems pointless, especially when a lot of it is digital marketplace with the new digital one. It's just like, yeah, it costs so much more money to send those Japanese megabytes to the UK rather than America.
Can I also complain about the existence of a digital edition of a console real quick? Because whilst I respect that they've gone for, let's make this like $100 cheaper just so that people who really want this can actually get something that's available. But God, I hate the idea that consoles will be switching to digital only in the next couple of generations and we'll start losing disc drives from consoles because we've already seen video games just disappear off storefronts. Recently we got the Scott Pilgrim video game back on the Nintendo Switch and other systems, which is pretty incredible, but there was like a solid there was a whole console generation where that game was off the market entirely. You could not find it anywhere.
Yeah.
And there's that problem that will continue to persist if consoles go digital only, because you won't have any physical discs anymore. So games can just stop existing all of a sudden. So I really hope that isn't a trend that carries on and that we get to keep physical media.
I think it'd be quite difficult to go to something totally digital only, which is why PlayStation have been trying so hard to push like PlayStation Now and things of like a streaming service, and Xbox with Xbox Game Pass. By the way, the reason, guys, we're not talking about Xbox is because Japan don't care. Xbox is a footnote. It's not even that. It's so tiny here because they're facing Nintendo and Sony, who are both domestic companies.
It's not particularly like Xbox have a lot to show at the moment either, sadly. They've had a pretty rough launch window.
But even if Xbox was somehow really popular in Japan, Japan is really protectionist with its government policies. So all the Xbox stuff would be taxed and have a bunch of stuff messed with that the Japanese companies wouldn't have because Japan.
Oh, God, I hadn't even considered how much more expensive an Xbox must be in Japan.
It's not that much more. They just don't focus or don't sell a bunch here. It's difficult to find games and difficult to have support here. So, yeah.
Fair enough.
And the Xbox are doing the same with like the smaller one, with the smaller Xboxy thing. So that's fun.
S, was it?
Yes. And they have the Xbox Game Pass as well. So that they're doing that thing of like, so even if you are only getting it as like a digital only, you are still essentially getting video games every month. I suppose that's why they're trying to push the PlayStation
collection, yeah.
Because even if you have a digital console, you have games with it as long as you're paying, £12 a month or something.
Yeah, as soon as I saw that PS Plus collection that they were advertising, I was like, oh, that's their competition with the Xbox Game Pass. So that now both companies have a sort of subscription service for their best games.
Yeah, I think the Xbox Game Pass is definitely bigger because it's definitely going PC, whatever. But also, we've been talking too long about games and not enough about Japan's. So I think it's time to... Boop, there's a pin in that for later.
We'll inevitably come back to this at some point because we're nerds.
Yeah, that's there. Of see what Sony messes up next. Haha.
Yeah.
It's Isekai, Thomas. Your favourite topic.
Yes, maybe. I think. I guess I have made 2 videos on Isekai, so I should say that's a probably good contender. Yes.
For those who don't know, Isekai is a genre which means another world. A person who's a normal, everyday person gets transported to a new magic world where they have to do stuff, and they're the main character and everything.
It's more often referred to as like portal fantasy, I think, in the West. It's basically everything from your Chronicles of Narnia to Alice in Wonderland, that sort of stuff.
But this one is totally original. Well, kind of. It's made by NHK, which is the Japanese equivalent of the BBC. And they have a literary arm where they publish education materials. And one of the things they've just made here is based apparently on some of their education content from last year, is something called The Legendary Girl Who Was Reborn in an Alternate World.
That sounds like a light novel, John.
And it did, because the name in Japanese is Isekai ni Tensei Shitada Denetsu no Shoujo Datakudan.
Those are some words.
Indeed.
Some of them I recognize. Oh, God.
But do you know why this is so important?
Why is it so important, John? How does it differentiate itself from the 1,001 other Isekai Light Novels that have come out in the last decade?
It's not in Japanese.
How are the Japanese people supposed to read it if it's not in Japanese, John?
Because this is Hajimete no Eigo Light Novel. It's my first light novel.
Baby's first light novel. Please no.
It says it on the front in big letters. Chugako Eigo de. Basically, it's all in the English that would be expected for Japanese high schoolers to know by the end of junior high school. So by the end of they're about 15, 16. Yeah, to help you like learn a language and be more interested in it, you can use like these novels because it's an original story. It's using a genre and a medium that's already popular and putting a new story into that in English. And it's 178 pages. This isn't short or anything. This is proper light novel. Shall I read you a short extract, Thomas?
Oh boy, I'm looking forward to this. So you're saying this is high school level English, right?
They should know most of these words by the end of junior high school. Whether that is true or not, arguable. But the background is main character is an ordinary girl called Luna Wakatsuki, and she is a second year of junior high school. She buys a beautiful pendant at an antique shop, and when she wears it, she is transported to a different world. And she's just walking around the woods when a super handsome knight just appears.
As they do.
This is her first time when she appears into the different world. Sorry, I need to get into character. When I open my eyes, everything is different. I am alone in a forest with huge trees and colourful flowers. What's happening? Am I dreaming? Where am I? A forest? I was in my room, I say. Then I hear a sound. Hoofbeats? Is someone there? Help! I shout. A young man on a horse sees me, and he looks surprised. What are you doing here? He asks. What am I doing here? That's what I want to know. I don't know, I tell him. So, if you want... There is an official English commentary to go with it, but...
Oh my god! Fantastic. Is it like a Japanese person reading English, or did they get an actual English speaker?
I don't know, because I'd have to buy it to find out.
You're not going to buy it to find out, John? Outrageous. Although, I do want to argue that there's no situation where I could see a Japanese high school need to know the word for hoofbeats.
Well, it's the sound horses make.
Unnecessary.
I know,
Obviously.
but this was a thing that I found fascinating because I'm an assistant language teacher, so I teach Japanese high schoolers English alongside Japanese English teachers. And the thing about this is the setting of an isekai is so actually amazingly good to teach people English or new words because the character is as lost as they are. The character is in a totally new world and so needs to be introduced to loads of things. So not being able to understand some of the words and things, it gives you a kind of like story connection to the character. And if I was a university professor here, I'd be using things like lexical symmetry or something. I don't know.
We don't know what those words mean, John.
Neither do I, which is why I just used them wrong. But you feel as confused as the character. It almost works in that way, as well as just like learning English in a kind of story that you'd already want to read. I just think it's great. I think it's great fun.
Are you considering using that in your English lessons by any chance?
Maybe not in my English lessons, because I think there'd be a lot of the kids who'd get bored, because not everyone is as big as nerd as I am.
What? How dare
I know,
they?
shock, horror.
It's current year. You have to be nerdy these days.
I know, but this is Japan. The only place to buy it at the moment is in Japan, so I don't know if you could try and get it abroad. You can buy it on the NHK website. Google Japanese light novel in English. It's one of the biggest things that's coming up. Advertised as my first light novel in Japanese, obviously.
It reminds me somewhat of the kids at my high school who would translate Harry Potter into Latin to help them learn that language. for their class, which was always seemed ridiculous to me, but it makes a lot of sense now that you put it out like that.
I'm pretty sure you can find Harry Potter in Latin and Klingon.
In every language.
Not that I'm comparing English to Klingon for Japanese people. Or maybe I am. We do have strange foreheads.
It's strange. Incredibly large foreheads.
And so now this incredibly large forehead is thirsty.
Thirsty for what, John?
For a drink.
Not the blood of your enemies.
No, because that sounds icky.
You are weak, and your bloodline is weak.
This was already known.
Fair enough. What is your blood substitute for today, John?
So right now, Japan is getting ready for the spoopy season.
The spoop.
Indeed, it's incredibly spoopy. So I was thinking, I was going through the Halloween stuff, going, what kind of Halloween chocolates or things? And they're generally just different flavored versions of the stuff I've already eaten. So I was like, that's a cop out. I can't just do Pocky again. And it's not even like they just changed the packaging. It's not like, ooh, pumpkin flavored Pocky. That I would eat.
No, it's just Kit Kats, but with ghosts
But
on
what
it.
I did find was Waldo, or Wally for our UK listeners.
You found him!
Yes.
The Wally! He has been discovered.
Yes, on a bottle of creme brulee flavoured tea.
What is this combination of things? Oh my god! Japan, why?
You can usually find pictures of the stuff I eat and drink on here on the Gaijin John Instagram. But yes, so this is Lipton, like sweet iced tea. Japan loves iced tea. And this is creme brulee milk tea. Yeah.
No.
And for some reason, I can't understand they have Wally on the front. I'm going to call him Wally because Waldo is not a name.
His name is Wally.
Yes.
This is how it is. I think they changed it because Wally was like an insult or something back in the day.
Wally is an insult. It's still someone's name, so is Dick.
Or Boris. No, wait.
Oh, they call him Wally as well. Haha, Japan approves.
Yes!
According to...
Vindication!
I think this is some kind of Halloween promotion or something at http://suntory.jp/Wally2.
To be fair, there is nothing more terrifying than a man who can blend seamlessly into a crowd.
And that's why Japan love him so much. He doesn't stand out.
Is that what they teach the kids in the Japanese class? Here's a picture book of where's Wally. Don't bother finding Wally. It's no good for you.
Yes. So he's just standing on the front of this holding a pumpkin with also glasses on, so it maybe kind of looks like him. But below him is just a picture of a creme brulee.
I don't understand.
It says in English on it,
Okay.
2020 season limited. So I suppose now is the only time I can be drinking Wally creme brulee tea. And yeah, it's just milk tea by Lipton, which do tea all around the world. And there's like some bats and ghosts and pumpkins on it, and I'm really putting this off.
Are you not looking forward to your creme brulee tea, John?
I mean, I just don't want to have to go to a dentist in Japan. It's like, why did all my teeth fall out? Well... so I have had this in the fridge because when you buy it from the store, it's off a box. It's milk tea, guys. You want it cold. Here we go. Oh, my.
That's just the smell alone has got John reeling.
Wow. It smells like diabetes. I'm trying to see how much... I can't read Japanese, so I don't know which one of those is sugar, but it's a lot. So yeah, it smells of milk tea, which is already obscenely sweet, but somehow sweeter.
Oh, no. Well, it's creme brulee, John. I don't know what you really
There's
expect.
one more. There's no kind of... Okay, so it's time for me to try some creme brulee milk tea.
Chug, chug, chug,
Kanpai!
chug, 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 chug.
Oh. Oh no. Oh. Why?
Down the hatch.
No, it's not getting any better either. Oh, Christ. It's exactly how I
Oh
described the
no.
smell. Somehow even sweeter. It's getting a bit more bearable as you keep drinking it, but I think that just might be my taste buds dying.
You're getting Stockholm syndrome by a drink, John.
I mean, it's sweet. It's sweet like milk tea. There's
It's just liquid
Yeah,
sugar.
there's no real caramel flavor either, which I'd associate with like creme brulee. There's some kind of extra sweetness beyond the normal sweetness of milk tea. I'm sorry, Wally. This is not looking good.
You should have stayed hidden, Wally.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is why you're so hard to find. It's for our own good.
I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of it is like artificial sweetener. I think that's the only way like my pancreas isn't shutting down at the moment. Lipton creme brulee milk tea. Something only for fall 2020 and something that will remain so. Oh,
Thank God. What do you rate that out of 10, John?
I rate it a Waldo out of 10.
Ooh. Burn. God, if it wasn't for the entirety of the West Coast was already in flames, John, that would have been dangerous.
It's bad tea. But
That is something we cannot abide here.
But something that was good, and that will take up hopefully the rest of the episode, is me being a tourist.
Hey! It's that thing John thought he'd get to do a lot more of.
It's tourist time with John. I went to Izumo Taisha, or Izumo Shrine, which is a shrine in Shimane Prefecture, and also possibly the oldest shrine in all of Japan, because they don't actually know when it was originally built. Mystery shrine.
Curious.
Specifically about this shrine is obviously you need to know the god it is for, because this is a Shinto shrine, this isn't a Buddhist temple. So you go to praise a particular kami, or Shinto deity. The one for this one is Okuni Nushi, or Okuni Nushi no Okami.
Who?
He's the Shinto deity of marriage.
Odd for you to go and visit him alone, John. Are you not telling me something here?
Specifically, lots of people go there. It's a popular pilgrimage site because essentially you go there either with your significant other to like pray that you will have a long and happy relationship, or you go by yourself and go and pray that the gods will give you a significant other.
Please, I'm so lonely.
Concept being in Shinto that essentially the gods meet like once a year to like decide what's gonna happen between all the men and women in the world, and so you go there and go, please, I think my CV got lost. Could you just check
God.
a third time, please?
To be a fly on the wall for that spirit meeting, oh goodness, that's just going to be chaos.
The main reason people go, and specifically I go, is it's thought to be the oldest shrine in Japan, because there are references to it from at least 1,000 years ago. Basically, in the high-end period, it was recorded as being 48 meters, being essentially the biggest shrine in Japan at that time, and probably one of the biggest man-made structures as well. Essentially, lots of these shrines are usually built in what are supposed to be very beautiful places. And so Izumo itself is extremely, extremely beautiful. It's right next to the sea and right up against a set of mountains. But the thing with Japanese shrines is that they're rebuilt every couple hundred years. So the current shrine was properly reconstructed in about 1744. So it got reduced in size at about 1200 AD, and then it kept on being changed, and then 1244 is where the current buildings are from. Though they did do a bunch of renovations in 1809, 1881, and 1953. And they've also done some recently as well.
That's still a really old shrine, even by our standards.
And so you go there, and there's just loads of lovely Japanese artwork. There's lots of people there being tourists, as I was, all wearing masks, except some weren't. Grumble, grumble, grumble.
Grumble, grumble, grumble.
The thing you do is you go up, and you bow.
Uh-huh.
You put in like a 5 yen coin, because that's supposed to sound like luck or something, as an offering, which is the equivalent of about 5 pence. You bow, and you clap 4 times, and then you bow again, and then you leave. And after praying, of course.
I was just wondering if you had any idea what the significance of the bow, clap, 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 bow ritual is, if there's any thought behind it.
The bow is obviously to show respect, and the clapping is essentially to tell the gods you're there.
And they just agreed that 4 was the right number of claps. Any more than that would be annoying. Any less than that, they might not hear you.
Well, the thing is, Izumo Taisha is specifically 4, because usually it's 2.
Oh.
But in Izumo, it's supposed to be 4, because, like, you're supposed to be clapping for your future partner, if that makes sense.
Oh, so each person's clapping for themselves and their partner, so twice as many claps. Oh, nice.
Yeah. And some people say you also do twice as many bows at Izumo as well. I got very confused, and I don't particularly know.
Oh, you didn't bow enough, John. You're not going to get a waifu now.
But what is there is a big piece of rope.
Do love some rope.
Well, this is the largest shimenawa in Japan.
What's a shimenawa?
A sacred piece of rope.
Nice. Why is it sacred?
Well, this one, because it's 13.5 meters long and weighs about 5 tons.
I would pray to that rope, that's true. That's a scary rope.
It's essentially big enough to crush several people.
Oh, that's so much rope. Oh my god. That must have taken forever to make. Oh dear. It's just suspended by lots of slightly smaller ropes. Yep, you could kill a small family with that.
So this is a rice straw rope. It's like hanging almost as like the equivalent of like an entrance to a church. It's like the size, how could I say it? It's probably about a large family car, maybe a bit bigger.
The height of a human being.
It's a bit bigger, I'd say.
Yeah.
So maybe like 2 Mini Coopers next to each other. And so that's not even on the main hall, because you can't go into the main hall. That's a side hall, though you do pray to the main hall. It's amazing. It's supposed to be a combination of the elements, because Izumo itself is spelled with the kanji in Japanese. That means clouds appearing. So the idea is that deities from like around the country come to Izumo on clouds. So it's a little cloud airport. The rope itself is made of 3 different things. The rope itself, little streamers made from washi, which is rice paper, which adorn the rope, and then also a large bell on it. And these different bits represent the line between heaven and humanity and different interactions. So basically it's a big symbolic rope.
It's just so much of it.
Yeah, I do recommend Googling Izumo rope. And of course, after we went to go see all this, took our pictures and I prayed and did all my things, I checked out the rest of Izumo, because Izumo also has some massive torii gates, which are the big gates that you have seen because they're the icon for our podcast. Yay!
It's going to be really awkward when we change our logo.
Yeah! Look up our old logo, or just torii gates, because they're huge. Izumo has like a huge torii gate that is the first one that was made about 100 years ago, and that is like at the bottom of the hill, which has like a street of shops and stuff, and then you get to the shrine itself after going through all that street and then the temple complex itself. But do you know what's just before like the main entrance to the shrine complex?
I don't, because I wasn't the one who went to the gate. Please tell me, John.
A Starbucks.
Oh, of course. I mean, that's just convenience there, John. I don't know what the problem is with that.
Yes, I did go there, and it's very well done. It's like made to look like a traditional Japanese building, so it's not just like weird. Also, there's lots of rabbit imagery everywhere, because Izumo has something to do with rabbits. It looks like very presentable and nice. It doesn't look obtrusive at all.
It's Izumi that's the Japanese word for rabbit, is it?
Usagi. Usagi is rabbit.
Oh.
Basically, Izumo has lots of statues of rabbits and it's very cute. And so I went down, we had my iced almond latte. And then I walked down the shops to see what was there. And one of the main famous things is Izumo Soba, which I didn't eat because the line was too long. I did eat a special Izumo taiyaki. This is the fish-shaped, like, wafer that you either have as, like, a hot, like, almost donut thing, or you have it cold with ice cream and red bean paste in it. I had the cold one because it was a hot day, and it was delicious. Of course, I have to rate the swag.
Oh, yeah, it's what we're all here for, is the loot.
Yeah. So one of them is of my boy, Zenitsu, from Kimetsu no Yaiba.
No, he wasn't there as well. That's not fair.
It's a little keychain of him chasing an Izumo rabbit. It's localized. It's nice. It's cute.
They put some basic effort into it.
Then I need to mention Shimane's mascot character, because Shimane's mascot character is amazing, so I bought a plush of him. And this is Shimaneko.
Oh, it's a cat.
Yes.
Of course it's a cat.
So the prefecture is called Shimane, so Shimane.
Ah, Japan. More puns.
Japan loves its puns. And it's a cat. It's not just any cat. It's got a little shrine hat on its head.
Yo, what? You what? Say, show me this now. I need to see this. Oh. Love it.
So this is just for Thomas on the web link. This is my Shimaneko.
Aww. Look at him. Yeah, I don't think we established what gender it was. Never mind.
I don't know. But it's cute. It's just got a little hat that's like a traditional Japanese house. It's great.
Aww. That's wonderful. That's a top tier purchase like that, yeah.
The Wikipedia for Shimaneko says is the Japanese mascot for Shimane Prefecture. That is all.
That's all you need to know. It's a cat with a house on its head.
It's a cat with a house on its head.
And its name is a pun.
What more do you need? It's Japan, the land of puns. And on that punlicious name, I should probably rate my day in Izumo. And I will give it a cat with a hat out of 10. It's so cute.
It's just waving it for the camera now. It is cute. It's undeniably cute. That's actually fantastic.
His ears go through the hat. Thinking about it now, it might not be a hat. It might be sort of like some weird deformed head.
I wouldn't think about it too hard. There's his ears.
This is how I spend the Japanese taxpayers' money. By putting it into the Japanese economy. I'm a good consumer. It's
your money now.
And on that note, I think it's time to end the show. That was a week in Japan, Thomas.
Yes.
How would you rate it out of weeks?
Let's see. Honestly, that was a pretty positive week all around. I think we've only benefited from that particular week in Japan. I think it was a good week all round.
Apart from the snack break. Snack break was rubbish.
Apart from the snack break and the fact that the PlayStation is screwing us over as usual. But other than that, all good.
Yeah. So where can they find us if they want to hear more of our beautiful voices?
Well, we have our podcast up on Spotify, iTunes, Podbean, I think Amazon now. It's also there.
Tune in.
Some other general places that you can find us. You can also play the podcast now on the Facebook page, I believe.
Yes.
Where we are Geeks and Gaijins on Facebook and Geeks and Gaijins on Twitter at GGaijins, where you can follow us for general nonsense. Facebook for John's. Yeah.
And on YouTube, so please like and subscribe and smash that review button on iTunes because that actually really helps the podcast.
Yep.
Give us a nice review, we'll read you out on here. And Shimaneko will say thank you.
The offer is still open. No one has taken us up on it yet, for some reason.
Come on, Dad.
John has his Instagram, The Gaijin John, where you can look at all his wonderful Japanese snacks and anything else he puts up on there. Although he sometimes uploads them onto the Facebook page. And we also have a Twitch channel where we try to stream once or twice a week. And John guides me through the wonderful world of Japanese video games.
Equazy.
We're currently on the second chapter of Danganronpa Volume 3, V3, and trying to wrap my heads around this fresh nonsense, which is a lot of fun. Join us if you are okay with listening to our amateur voice acting and other stupid nonsense.
Yeah.
Other than that, thank you all for coming.
No, thank you so
impressed
much,
if you made
everyone.
it that far into this far into the podcast. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And we will see you next week in Japan.
Oh, yeah.
That was an actual outro.
Write that down! Write that down!